Queen Mary of Denmark helps to pack backpacks for children in need in Billund. Mr. Marius Borg Høiby sentenced to 4 years in prison in Oslo. RVD releases new photos of the King and the Queen of the Netherlands with the Emperor and Empress of Japan in Apeldoorn. And the British royal family attend the service of the Most Noble Order of the Garter in Windsor. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Monday, June 15th, 2026. In Billund, Her Majesty Queen Mary of Denmark, as chairwoman of the Mary Foundation, participated in packing backpacks for children living in crisis centers in Denmark, Greenland, and the Faroe Islands. According to a statement from the Mary Foundation, in 2025, over 2,600 children arrived at a crisis center with a parent, many of them with only the clothing on their backs. The Mary Foundation, along with the Ole Kirk Fund, the Lego Charity, and the LOKK, distributes backpacks to the children at these crisis centers. Each of the backpacks contains clothes, books, toys, and a postcard in which the children can send a message to the Queen and representatives from the Mary Foundation. In addition to providing practical support, the backpacks also serve as a tool for crisis center staff, helping them begin conversations with children and supporting their ongoing work with young residents. The initiative is intended to help children feel seen and supported during a difficult period in their lives. Since 2008, the Mary Foundation, the Ole Kirk Fund, the Lego Charity, and the LOKK have distributed approximately 40,000 backpacks to children arriving at crisis centers with a parent. On Saturday in Stockholm, Their Majesties King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden celebrated their golden wedding anniversary. In Oslo, Mr. Marius Borg Høiby, the son of Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway, has been sentenced to 4 years in prison by the Oslo District Court. Judge Jon Efsjestad found Mr. Borg Høiby guilty on 2 counts of domestic abuse against his former partner, Nora Haukland, aggravated assault against a Frogner woman, and a number of additional offenses, including restraining order violations, traffic offenses, and drug-related crimes. The convictions involved 2 separate women. In one case, the court found that the woman was asleep and therefore unable to consent. In the second case, the court found that the other woman was unable to oppose the in question. Mr. Borg Høiby denied criminal responsibility for the allegations. Mr. Borg Høiby was acquitted of 2 other charges relating to alleged incidents in Lofoten and at an Oslo hotel in November 2024, with the court finding that there was reasonable doubt in both cases. The court also found Mr. Borg Høiby guilty of domestic abuse against Nora Haukland, concluding that repeated acts of physical and psychological abuse created an atmosphere of fear and insecurity during their relationship. In addition, he was convicted of aggravated assault against a Frogner woman in connection with the incident that led to his arrest on August 4th, 2024, as well as several related offenses. The court imposed a 2-year ban on contact with her. Mr. Borg Høiby was further ordered to pay approximately 640,000 Norwegian kroner in compensation and damages to several women involved in the case. Prosecutors had sought a sentence of 7 years and 7 months. Mr. Borg Høiby has appealed the convictions of R and domestic abuse, meaning the verdict is not yet final. On Sunday, RVD released new photos of their Majesties, King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, along with their dog Mambo, and their Imperial Majesties, Emperor Naruhito and Empress Moscow, Japan, at Het Ouderloo in Apeldoorn. The images were taken ahead of the official start of their Imperial Majesty's state visit to the Kingdom of the Netherlands, which begins on Wednesday, as the two royal couples gathered to watch the 2026 FIFA World Cup Group F match between the Netherlands and Japan. The match, held at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, ended in a 2-2 draw. In Madrid, His Majesty, King Felipe VI of Spain, presided over the presentation of the Premio 15 de Junio during a ceremony held at the Congreso de los Diputados. According to the Royal Court of Spain, the award is presented annually to individuals and institutions that distinguish themselves through the, quote, promotion and defense of the values enshrined in the Constitución Española, and for their contribution to progress and the building of a more united, supportive, and cohesive society. The award invokes the historical significance of the first democratic elections held on June 15, 1977, as a symbol of a Spain capable of rediscovering itself around a common project. End quote. The recipient of the award was journalist Miguel Aguilar. On Saturday, in Monacoville, Their Serene Highnesses, Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco, accompanied by their children, Hereditary Prince Jacques and Princess Gabriella of Monaco, attended the opening of the 7th edition of the Site Historique Grimaldi de Monaco's annual gathering on the Place du Palais. So what is the Site Historique Grimaldi de Monaco gathering? Well, let's start from the beginning. On the night of January 8, 1297, François Grimaldi, known as Malizia, dressed as a monk, concealed with weapons under his robe, approached the Genoese guards who watched over the castle fortress of Monaco and asked them for hospitality. Through this ruse, François Grimaldi captured the fortress and thus began the reign of the Grimaldi dynasty. Over the centuries, the Grimaldis have established connections and strategically positioned themselves in various regions across France and Italy. The princes of Monaco hold multiple titles, including Duke of Valentinois, Marquis de Beau, and Count of Carlodes, to name a few. These titles were acquired through diplomatic agreements or marriages. As a result, the Grimaldis have connections to over 150 different sites. The Sovereign Prince has been traveling regularly to visit the former strongholds and fiefdoms of the Grimaldi dynasty for several years now, in order to maintain connections between communities that share a historical bond with the Principality of Monaco. Since 2018, the Sovereign Prince has helped to organize the annual gathering of members of the SHGM on the Place du Palais. In a press release, it noted that the gathering is, quote, placed under the sign of conviviality. The gathering aims to host representatives of the SHGM. During the event, members will showcase their cultural, artisanal, folkloric, and gastronomic heritage to the general public. These 2 days are dedicated to history and friendship, in accordance with the sovereign prince's wish." End quote. For this 7th edition, representatives from 7 historic municipalities in France and Italy, including the town of Piacenza, are participating in the gathering. The sovereign prince gave his traditional welcoming speech, as well as presented medals to the mayors of the municipalities that were accepted into the SHGM. In the evening, a sound and light show was projected onto the facade of the Palais. On Friday evening, in Larvoto, the sovereign prince, as honorary president, accompanied by his niece, Miss Camille Gottlieb, and Mr. and Mrs. Louis Ducroix, attended the 65th edition of the Monte Carlo Television Festival, held at the Grimaldi Forum. Established in 1961 by Prince Rene III, the festival gathers actors, producers, directors, writers, heads of studios, networks, and streaming platforms every year in June to attend a series of launches, premiere screenings, conferences, press activities, public events, VIP meetings, and signing sessions. In Windsor, Their Majesties, King Charles III and Queen Camilla of the United Kingdom, and members of the royal family attended the service of the Most Noble Order of the Garter at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. Established in 1348 by King Edward III, the Order of the Garter is the most senior and the oldest British order of chivalry, with the motto, Honi soit qui mal y pense, shame on him who thinks this evil. The order, consisting of the king and 24 knights, honors those who have held public office, who have contributed in a particular way to national life, or who have served the sovereign personally. The patron saint of the order is St. George, and the spiritual home of the order is St. George's Chapel at Windsor. According to Buckingham Palace, every knight is required to display a banner of his arms in the chapel, together with a helmet, crest, and sword, and an enameled stall plate. Quote, "These achievements are taken down on the knight's death, and the insignia are returned to the sovereign. The stall plates remain as a memorial, and these now form one of the finest collections of heraldry in the world." End quote. The day began with a meeting in the Garter Throne Room at Windsor Castle. This was followed by a luncheon in the Waterloo Chamber. In the afternoon, Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, Their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, Their Majesties, knights and ladies of the Most Noble Order of the Garter, participated in a procession. Wearing their blue velvet robes with the badge of the order, St. George's Cross within the garter, surrounded by silver beams on the left shoulder, and black velvet hats with white plumes, from Windsor Castle to St. George's Chapel. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow on Tuesday, June 16th, with all the latest royal news and events. Until then, enjoy your afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care and God bless.